My name is Raymond and I'm the National Program Manager of Prison Fellowship Canada. I got involved with the work of this ministry 7 years ago as I looked around me in this modern day context through the lens of Scripture and saw a change in the disparity of what we call poverty today and what that actually looked like 2,000 years ago. Shortly after I came to faith, I really just had a heart for evangelism. But even as I stood there on those street corners, handing out Gideon Bibles, seeking to strike up conversations with people about their beliefs about Jesus, about God, and life, and meaning, I witnessed something that didn't quite resonate in my spirit about what I was reading. In the scriptures, when I read about the marginalized, I didn't read about people who had access to shelters, or food banks, or employment agencies. I didn't read about people who received government assistance or carried a cell phone even while living on the streets and having access to these kinds of amenities. Instead, I saw people who were actually segregated, desperate people cut off from all resources and community connections, the leper who no one wanted to touch, the woman who went to the well to draw water at high noon, the blind sitting in the street begging, who would not eat that day if not for the kindness of the merciful. So I prayed and asked God to show me, where do people like this exist today? Then He reminded me, where were you in life when you felt the same way? And immediately I thought of prisons, prisoners, and the time I spent incarcerated. I remember leading up to my trial being so desperate for hope, for a change in my circumstances, that I even entertained the idea of a well-meaning friend who offered to take me to a pundit to receive something he called a tabij, that he said would turn around the decision of the courts in my favor. He shelled out quite a bit of money to get this done for me, but really I was just trying to find a way to avoid taking responsibilities for my actions. But these are the kinds of things that desperate people do. We're most vulnerable to receive new ideas and try new things when we really don't know ourselves. In the New Testament, the church is described as a pillar and foundation of the truth. I wanted to take the truth to people who were desperate and hungered for it, the way that prisoners hunger and thirst for the truth. It was through the scriptures that I learned how to take responsibility for my actions. It was through the scriptures that I learned about God's grace, unmerited favor, nothing that I did or have done, but the free and generous gift of God. God believed in my life even when it felt like no one else thought or believed I would ever change. That's the kind of hope that the gospel brings. That's the kind of hope we should be investing in as a church, because I'm absolutely certain that if Jesus didn't choose to look at me when it really felt like no one else was, I don't believe anything in my life would have changed to bring me to where I am today.
To learn more about Crossroads Prayer Line television programs and to make a donation, visit crossroads.ca. To learn more about Land of Hope, serving opportunities, events, and to make a donation, visit landofhope.net.